For years, I struggled to understand why some people seem blessed with wealth, while others remain trapped in financial limitation. Then I discovered something remarkable, two simple words that, when used correctly, activate what I call the prosperity principle in your subconscious mind. What I'm about to share with you has been tested by thousands of people from every walk of life, and the results have been nothing short of miraculous. These two words don't just change your bank account, they transform your entire relationship with abundance. My friend, if you've been struggling with money, if you've tried affirmations and positive thinking but still find yourself worried about bills, if you feel like no matter how hard you work, there's never quite enough, and then you need to understand this fundamental truth. Wealth is not about working harder or getting luckier. Wealth is about aligning your consciousness with the natural flow of abundance. For over 40 years, I've been studying the laws of mind and their practical application to prosperity. I've seen people go from poverty to abundance, from financial worry to complete security, from limitation to unlimited opportunity, all by learning to work with the creative power of their subconscious mind in the correct way. What I'm about to share with you isn't theory, it's practical mental science that has transformed millions of lives. These two words, when understood and applied properly, become your direct connection to the infinite storehouse of wealth that exists within your own consciousness. You see, most people have been taught that money is hard to come by, that you have to struggle and sacrifice to earn it, that there's not enough to go around. These beliefs, buried deep in the subconscious mind, act like invisible barriers that repel the very abundance we're seeking to attract. But here's what most people don't realize. The universe operates on the principle of infinite abundance. There is more than enough for everyone, including you. The question is not whether abundance exists. It does. The question is whether you're aligned with it or working against it. The two words I'm going to share with you today are like a tuning fork that brings your consciousness into perfect harmony with this universal abundance. When you speak them correctly, when you feel them deeply, when you embody their true meaning, you activate what the ancients called the law of attraction, and what modern science recognizes as the power of focused intention. But here's the key, and this is what most people miss. These words must be spoken with genuine feeling and absolute faith in their power. They're not just sounds you make with your mouth. They're declarations of spiritual truth that awaken the prosperity consciousness within you. Over the next 90 minutes, I'm going to take you on a journey that will completely transform your understanding of wealth and how it's created. We'll begin by exploring the true nature of abundance and why most people struggle financially despite living in a universe of unlimited prosperity. Then I'll reveal the two words that form the foundation of all prosperity consciousness, and I'll show you exactly how to use them to reprogram your subconscious mind for wealth and success. You'll discover the scientific principles behind their power and learn the specific techniques that multiply their effectiveness. I'll share with you real stories of people who have used these principles to transform their financial lives, from the businessman who went from bankruptcy to millions, to the single mother who attracted her dream home, to the retiree who manifested financial security when it seemed impossible. But perhaps most importantly, you'll learn how to integrate these two words into your daily life in a way that feels natural and authentic, so they become not just words you speak, but a fundamental part of who you are. By the end of our time together, you'll possess not just knowledge, but practical tools you can begin using immediately to attract greater prosperity into your life. So settle in, open your mind, and prepare to discover the secret that has enriched countless lives throughout history, the foundation of all prosperity. Now, before I reveal these two powerful words to you, you must first understand the foundation upon which all true prosperity is built. Because without this understanding, these words will remain just words, without the power to transform your financial reality. Let me start by sharing something that might completely change how you think about wealth and abundance. Look around you right now, wherever you are. If you can see outside, notice the trees, the grass, the sky. If you're indoors, think about the vast world beyond your walls. What do you see? You see a universe of incredible abundance. There are billions of stars in our galaxy alone and billions of galaxies in the universe. There are trillions of grains of sand on every beach, millions of blades of grass in every field, countless leaves on every tree. Nature knows nothing of scarcity. It operates from a principle of infinite abundance. And yet, here we are living in this abundant universe, and so many people struggle with money. Why is this? If abundance is the natural state of the universe, why do so many people experience lack and limitation when it comes to finances? The answer lies in understanding that you and I are not separate from this abundant universe. We are expressions of it. The same creative force that produces countless stars and infinite grains of sand lives within you. The same intelligence that grows mighty oaks from tiny acorns is the intelligence that can grow wealth and prosperity in your life. But here's what happens. From the time we're children, we're taught to believe in scarcity. We hear phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, and we can't afford that, and there's not enough to go around. These ideas get planted deep in our subconscious minds, where they take root and grow like weeds, choking out our natural connection to abundance. I remember working with a woman several years ago who came to see me because despite being highly educated and working in a well-paying profession, she could never seem to get ahead financially. Every time she started to build some savings, an unexpected expense would arise. Every time an opportunity for advancement appeared, something would go wrong. She felt cursed when it came to money. As we talked, I learned about her childhood. Her parents had gone through the Great Depression, and even though they later achieved financial stability, they never lost their fear of poverty. Every conversation about money in her household was filled with worry and anxiety. Save every penny, they would say. You never know when hard times might come again. Don't spend money on anything unnecessary. Money is the root of all evil. Without realizing it, her parents had programmed her subconscious mind with a deep fear of money and a belief that financial security was always precarious. Her subconscious mind, being the faithful servant it is, was simply creating experiences that matched these deep-seated beliefs. Once she understood this, she began the work of reprogramming her consciousness. She started to see money not as something to be feared or hoarded, but as energy that was meant to flow freely through her life. She began to understand that the universe wanted her to prosper, not struggle. The transformation was remarkable. Within 6 months, she received a promotion she hadn't even applied for. Within a year, she had started a consulting business on the side that brought in more income than her full-time job. Within 3 years, she was financially independent, free to pursue her passions without worrying about money. What changed? Not her circumstances, those came later. What changed first was her consciousness, her deep beliefs about money, and her worthiness to receive it. This brings us to a fundamental principle that you must understand. Your consciousness creates your circumstances, not the other way around. Your outer world is always a reflection of your inner world. If you want to change your financial circumstances, you must first change your financial consciousness. Most people have this backwards. They think, when I have more money, then I'll feel abundant. But the truth is, when you feel abundant, then you'll have more money. The feeling must come first, because feeling is the creative force that shapes your reality. Think of your consciousness like soil in a garden. Whatever seeds you plant in that soil will grow. If you plant seeds of worry, fear, and scarcity, those will grow into experiences of financial struggle. But if you plant seeds of gratitude, abundance, and prosperity, those will grow into experiences of wealth and success. The problem is that most people are unconsciously planting the wrong seeds. They wake up in the morning worried about bills. They spend their days thinking about what they don't have, rather than appreciating what they do have. They go to sleep at night anxious about their financial future. Every one of these thoughts and feelings is a seed being planted in the fertile soil of their subconscious mind, and their subconscious mind, following its natural law, grows exactly what is planted there. But when you understand this principle, when you become conscious of the seeds you're planting, you can begin to deliberately cultivate prosperity consciousness. You can choose thoughts of abundance over thoughts of scarcity. You can choose feelings of gratitude over feelings of lack. You can choose to align your consciousness with the infinite abundance of the universe rather than the artificial scarcity created by human fear and misunderstanding. This is not just positive thinking, this is practical mental science. When you consistently hold thoughts and feelings of abundance, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of abundance. And like attracts like. The law of attraction brings into your experience people, opportunities, and circumstances that match your dominant mental and emotional state. I once knew a businessman who understood this principle so well that he used it to build a multi-million-dollar empire from nothing. He started with no money, no connections, and no special advantages. But he had something more valuable than all of these he had prosperity consciousness. Every morning before he got out of bed, he would spend 10 minutes feeling genuinely grateful for the abundance that was flowing into his life. Even when his bank account was nearly empty, even when creditors were calling, even when things looked impossible from a practical standpoint, he would feel and express gratitude for the wealth that he knew was on its way. He would say things like, "I am so grateful for the perfect business opportunities that are presenting themselves to me today. I am so thankful for the wonderful clients who are being drawn to my services. I appreciate the abundance that flows to me from expected and unexpected sources." At first, his logical mind protested. "This is ridiculous," it would say. "You're just pretending. You don't have abundance. You have bills you can't pay." But he persisted, because he understood that he was not pretending to have abundance. He was recognizing the abundance that already existed within his consciousness and was waiting to manifest in his external circumstances. The results were extraordinary. Within weeks, new business opportunities began appearing. Within months, his income had increased dramatically. Within a few years, he was one of the most successful entrepreneurs in his industry. What was his secret? He had learned to think, feel, and act from abundance rather than from lack. He had aligned his consciousness with the infinite prosperity of the universe, and the universe responded by bringing that inner abundance into outer manifestation. This is the foundation of all true prosperity, the recognition that abundance is your natural state, that the universe wants you to prosper, and that wealth flows to those whose consciousness is aligned with the infinite source of all supply. But knowing this intellectually isn't enough. You must have a practical way to reprogram your consciousness, to replace old patterns of scarcity thinking with new patterns of abundance thinking. You need a simple daily practice that will gradually but powerfully shift your mental and emotional patterns from lack to abundance. And that's where these two words come in. These two words, when used correctly, are like a master key that unlocks the door to prosperity consciousness. They are the most direct and effective way I've ever discovered to align your mind with the infinite abundance of the universe. The two words, revealed. Now I'm going to share with you the two words that have the power to transform your relationship with money and abundance forever. These words are simple, familiar, and yet contain within them a power that most people never recognize. The two words are, thank you. I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's it? Thank you? How can two words I say all the time be the secret to prosperity? And that's exactly the point. You probably do say these words regularly, but you've likely never understood their true power or used them in the specific way that activates prosperity consciousness. You see, most people say, thank you, as a social courtesy, as a response to something they've received. But what I'm going to teach you is how to use these words as a creative force, as a way of programming your subconscious mind for abundance, as a method of aligning your consciousness with the flow of universal prosperity. Let me explain why these two words are so powerful. When you say thank you with genuine feeling, several remarkable things happen simultaneously in your consciousness. First, you shift from a consciousness of needing to a consciousness of receiving. Need implies lack. When you need something, you're acknowledging that you don't have it. But when you say thank you, you're acknowledging that you do have it or that it's coming to you. This is a fundamental shift in consciousness that opens you to receive rather than push away. Second, gratitude is the natural language of abundance. Think about the wealthiest, most successful people you know, not just financially wealthy, but wealthy in every area of life. What do they all have in common? They are grateful people. They appreciate what they have. They acknowledge the blessings in their lives. This grateful consciousness is not a result of their wealth. It's the cause of their wealth. Third, when you express gratitude, you're affirming your connection to the source of all supply. You're acknowledging that there's an intelligence, a power, a source that provides for you. Whether you call this God, the universe, infinite intelligence, or your higher self doesn't matter. What matters is that you recognize you're not alone, that you're supported, that you're connected to an unlimited source of abundance. Fourth, gratitude generates the feeling of abundance. And feeling is the creative force in the universe. When you feel abundant, grateful, and appreciative, you're vibrating at the frequency of abundance, and this feeling of abundance attracts more abundance into your experience. Now, here's where most people miss the real power of these words. They wait to feel grateful until after they receive something. But the secret is to feel grateful before you receive, to say thank you in advance for the blessings that are on their way to you. This might seem strange at first. How can you thank someone for something you haven't received yet? But remember, we're not dealing with ordinary logic here. We're working with the laws of consciousness and manifestation. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what has already happened and what you vividly imagine and feel. When you say thank you with genuine feeling for blessings that haven't yet appeared in your physical experience, your subconscious mind accepts this as evidence that those blessings exist. And what your subconscious mind accepts as true, it works to make true in your external experience. Let me share with you a perfect example of this principle in action. I once worked with a man who was deeply in debt and facing bankruptcy. His business was failing, his marriage was under stress, and he felt like his whole world was falling apart. When I suggested that he begin each day by saying thank you for his financial abundance, he looked at me like I had lost my mind. "How can I thank God for abundance when I'm about to lose everything?" he asked. I explained to him that he wasn't thanking God for his current circumstances. He was thanking God for the abundance that was already his in spiritual truth and was now manifesting in his physical experience. I taught him to say something like this: "Thank you for the perfect solution to my financial challenges that is now manifesting. Thank you for the abundance that flows to me from expected and unexpected sources. Thank you for the wisdom and guidance that leads me to prosperity. Thank you for the peace and security that I now experience in my financial life." At first, these words felt empty and hollow to him. His logical mind kept saying, "This is stupid. You're lying. You don't have abundance. You have debt." But I encouraged him to persist, to speak these words with as much genuine feeling as he could muster, and to trust in the process. Gradually, something began to shift. As he continued to express gratitude for abundance that he couldn't yet see, he began to feel differently about his situation. Instead of feeling hopeless and defeated, he began to feel hopeful and expectant. Instead of focusing on his problems, he began to look for solutions. Instead of feeling sorry for himself, he began to feel grateful for the lessons he was learning and the growth he was experiencing. And as his consciousness shifted, his circumstances began to shift as well. New ideas came to him for saving his business. People appeared in his life who were able to help him. Opportunities opened up that he never could have imagined. Within 18 months, not only had he saved his business and paid off his debts, but he was more prosperous than he had ever been before. What happened? He had used these two words to reprogram his consciousness from lack to abundance. He had aligned his thoughts and feelings with prosperity rather than poverty. And the universe responded by bringing his inner state of abundance into outer manifestation. This is the power of saying thank you before you see the evidence. This is what I call grateful expectation. Being thankful for blessings that you know are coming, even if you can't yet see them with your physical eyes. But here's something crucial that you must understand about this process. When you say thank you in this way, you're not trying to manipulate God or the universe into giving you what you want. You're recognizing and aligning with what is already true in spiritual reality. In the realm of infinite intelligence, all possibilities exist. Your prosperity, your abundance, your perfect financial situation already exists as potential waiting to be manifested. When you say thank you with genuine gratitude, you're not creating this prosperity, you're claiming it, accepting it, opening yourself to receive it. Think of it this way. Imagine that someone who loves you dearly has sent you a wonderful gift, but it hasn't arrived at your house yet. It's in the mail, on its way to you. You know it's coming. You know it's yours. Wouldn't it be natural to feel grateful for this gift even before you hold it in your hands? This is exactly what's happening when you express gratitude for abundance that hasn't yet manifested physically. The universe, in its infinite love and generosity, has already sent you everything you need for a prosperous, abundant life. These blessings are on their way to you. They belong to you. And when you say thank you with genuine appreciation, you're acknowledging this truth and opening yourself to receive what is already yours. Now, let me teach you the specific way to use these two words for maximum effectiveness. This isn't just about saying thank you casually throughout the day, although that has value too. This is about creating a deliberate, focused practice that programs your subconscious mind for prosperity. Every morning when you wake up, before you get out of bed, before you check your phone, before you start thinking about your problems or your to-do list, spend 5 minutes in gratitude. Say thank you with genuine feeling for the abundance that is flowing into your life. Don't just say the words, feel them. Let genuine appreciation fill your heart. Let gratitude permeate every cell of your body. See yourself as blessed, provided for, abundantly supplied. Feel connected to the infinite source of all good. You might say something like, thank you for this beautiful day and all the opportunities it brings. Thank you for the abundance that flows to me easily and naturally. Thank you for my perfect health, my loving relationships, my meaningful work, and my financial prosperity. Thank you for the wisdom to recognize and act upon the opportunities that come my way. Thank you for the peace and joy that fill my life. The specific words aren't as important as the feeling behind them. The key is to genuinely feel grateful, to really experience appreciation, to truly acknowledge the blessings in your life and the blessings that are coming to you. Then, throughout the day, whenever you think about money or your financial situation, instead of worrying or complaining, return to gratitude. Say thank you for your current blessings, no matter how small they might seem. Say thank you for the abundance that you know is on its way to you. And before you go to sleep at night, end your day with gratitude. This is especially powerful because your subconscious mind is most receptive just before sleep. The thoughts and feelings you have as you drift off to sleep are impressed deeply into your subconscious mind, where they work all night long to create your future experiences. As you lie in bed, reflect on the good things that happened during the day, feel grateful for every blessing, every opportunity, every moment of joy or beauty or connection, then express gratitude for the even greater blessings that tomorrow will bring. This simple practice, done consistently with genuine feeling, will gradually but powerfully reprogram your consciousness for abundance. It will shift your dominant thoughts and feelings from lack to plenty, from worry to trust, from scarcity to abundance. But to truly understand why this works so powerfully, you need to understand the science behind these words, the specific mechanisms by which gratitude affects your subconscious mind and your external circumstances. The science behind the words. Now that you understand what these two words are and how to use them, let me explain the fascinating science behind why they work so powerfully to create prosperity in your life. Because when you understand the mechanisms at work, your faith in the process will grow stronger, and your results will multiply accordingly. The first thing you need to understand is how your subconscious mind works. Your subconscious mind is like the most faithful servant you could ever imagine. It never questions your instructions, never doubts your commands, never argues with your beliefs. Whatever you consistently impress upon it through your thoughts, feelings, and mental images, it accepts as absolutely true and works tirelessly to make true in your external experience. Now, here's the crucial point. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between something that has actually happened and something that you vividly imagine with strong emotion. To your subconscious mind, if you can see it clearly in your mind's eye and feel it deeply in your heart, then it's real. This is why gratitude is so powerful as a creative force. When you say thank you with genuine feeling for abundance that hasn't yet manifested physically, your subconscious mind accepts this grateful feeling as evidence that the abundance already exists. And what your subconscious mind accepts as true, it works to create in your outer world. Let me give you a simple example to illustrate this principle. Think about the last time you bit into a fresh, juicy lemon. Can you remember the sour taste? The way your mouth puckered? The way your saliva glands activated? If you're really imagining this vividly, you're probably experiencing some of those same physical sensations right now, even though there's no actual lemon present. This demonstrates how your subconscious mind responds to vivid mental images and emotions as if they were real experiences. When you consistently imagine and feel yourself as prosperous, grateful for abundance, thankful for financial blessings, your subconscious mind begins to accept this as your reality and starts creating circumstances that match this inner state. But there's an even deeper level to this science. Modern researchers have discovered that gratitude actually changes the structure and function of your brain. When you regularly practice gratitude, you literally rewire your neural pathways in ways that support greater happiness, optimism, and success. Studies have shown that people who practice daily gratitude experience increased levels of dopamine and serotonin, the brain chemicals associated with pleasure, motivation, and well-being. They also show decreased levels of cortisol, the stress hormone that interferes with clear thinking and creative problem-solving. What this means practically is that when you make gratitude a daily practice, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your brain. You're creating new neural pathways that automatically look for the good in every situation, that naturally expect positive outcomes, that instinctively attract opportunities and solutions. But the science goes even deeper than neurology. There's also what we might call the physics of consciousness, the way your thoughts and emotions create energy fields that influence your environment and attract corresponding experiences. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts and emotions are forms of energy, and they broadcast frequencies into the field of consciousness around you. The frequency of gratitude, appreciation, and abundance is very different from the frequency of worry, fear, and lack. When you consistently vibrate at the frequency of gratitude and abundance, you attract people, circumstances, and opportunities that vibrate at similar frequencies. This isn't mystical speculation. It's based on the fundamental principle that like attracts like, which operates at both the quantum level of physics and the practical level of human experience. I once worked with a scientist who was initially very skeptical about these ideas. He was trained to think in terms of measurable, observable phenomena, and the concept of consciousness creating reality seemed too abstract and unscientific to him. But he was also facing some serious financial challenges, and traditional approaches weren't working, so he decided to conduct what he called a personal experiment with gratitude and prosperity consciousness. Being a scientist, he approached it methodically. He established a baseline by carefully tracking his income, opportunities, and financial circumstances for 1 month before beginning the gratitude practice. Then he committed to expressing genuine gratitude for abundance every morning and evening for 90 days, while continuing to track the measurable results. At first, nothing seemed to change. His logical mind kept saying, "See, I knew this was nonsense." But he had committed to 90 days, so he continued the practice. Around the 40th day, something interesting began to happen. He started noticing opportunities he had been overlooking before. Research grants he hadn't considered became appealing. Consulting opportunities he had dismissed started looking interesting. Investment possibilities he had ignored suddenly seemed worth exploring. By the end of the 90-day period, his financial situation had improved dramatically. But what impressed him most as a scientist wasn't just the external changes, it was the internal changes he could observe and measure. His stress levels had decreased significantly. His creativity and problem-solving abilities had increased noticeably. His relationships with colleagues had improved markedly. His energy and motivation were at levels he hadn't experienced in years. He realized that gratitude hadn't just attracted better circumstances, it had made him a better receiver of opportunities that had probably been there all along. It had changed his perception, his energy, his actions, and his responses in ways that naturally led to better outcomes. This brings us to another crucial aspect of the science behind gratitude, what I call the attractive power of appreciation. When you genuinely appreciate something, you naturally draw more of it into your experience. This works on both a psychological and a metaphysical level. Psychologically, when you appreciate something, you pay more attention to it. You notice it more readily. You value it more highly. You take better care of it. All of these behaviors naturally lead to having more of what you appreciate. But there's also a deeper metaphysical principle at work. Appreciation is a form of love, and love is the most powerful creative force in the universe. When you love and appreciate the abundance in your life, you're sending out a signal that says, "More of this, please." And the universe, being infinitely generous, responds by sending more of what you appreciate. I learned this principle from a woman who had grown up in extreme poverty but had become one of the wealthiest people I've ever known. When I asked her how she had made such a remarkable transformation, she said something I'll never forget. "I learned to appreciate every penny as if it were $1,000,000. When I had only $1 in my pocket, I would hold it and feel grateful for it. I would think about all the good things that dollar could do. I would appreciate it as if it were the most precious thing in the world. And you know what happened? That dollar multiplied. It brought friends. It attracted opportunities. It grew into $10, then 100, then 1,000, and eventually into millions. She had discovered intuitively what science is now proving, that appreciation is a magnetic force that draws more of whatever you appreciate into your life. This is why saying thank you with genuine feeling is so powerful. You're not just being polite or following a social convention. You're activating one of the most fundamental laws of the universe, the law that like attracts like, that what you focus on expands, that what you appreciate appreciates. But here's something very important that many people miss. The gratitude must be genuine. You can't just say the words mechanically or try to manipulate the universe through fake appreciation. Your subconscious mind and the universe itself respond to authenticity, not to pretense. This means you must find things to be genuinely grateful for, starting with whatever you have right now, no matter how modest it might seem. If you have a roof over your head, be genuinely grateful for shelter. If you have food to eat, be genuinely grateful for nourishment. If you have any income at all, be genuinely grateful for the ability to earn and receive. Start with real appreciation for actual blessings and gradually expand this feeling of gratitude to include the abundance that you know is coming to you. As your capacity for genuine gratitude grows, your capacity to receive abundance grows as well. This brings us to what might be the most important aspect of the science behind gratitude, its effect on what I call your receiving consciousness. Most people who struggle financially are not bad at earning money. They're bad at receiving money. They have subconscious blocks to receiving that cause them to sabotage opportunities, overlook possibilities, or push away abundance when it tries to flow to them. These blocks usually come from childhood programming about unworthiness, guilt about having more than others, or fear of the responsibilities that come with wealth. But gratitude dissolves these blocks naturally and gently. When you're genuinely grateful for abundance, you're automatically affirming your worthiness to receive it. When you appreciate the flow of prosperity, you're automatically opening yourself to receive more of it. When you give thanks for blessings, you're automatically positioning yourself as someone who expects and receives good things. This is why these two words, thank you, are so transformative. They reprogram your receiving consciousness at the deepest level, removing the blocks that have been keeping abundance away from you and opening you to receive the unlimited prosperity that is always available to you. Now, let me show you exactly how to put this science into practice with specific techniques and daily routines that will systematically reprogram your consciousness for prosperity and abundance. The daily practice that changes everything. Now that you understand the science behind these two powerful words, let me give you the specific daily practices that will transform them from mere concepts into living realities in your life. Because knowledge without application is powerless, and I want you to experience the full miraculous potential of what I'm sharing with you. The most important practice is what I call the morning gratitude awakening. This is how you begin each day, by aligning your consciousness with abundance from the moment you wake up. Most people start their day by immediately thinking about their problems, checking their phones for bad news, or worrying about their to-do list. But successful people, truly prosperous people, start their day by connecting with gratitude and abundance. Here's exactly how to do it. The moment you become conscious in the morning, before you get out of bed, before you do anything else, place your hands on your heart and say, "Thank you." Say it with genuine feeling, with real appreciation for the gift of another day, another opportunity to create and experience abundance. Then spend 5 to 10 minutes in what I call grateful recognition. This means acknowledging and appreciating the abundance that already exists in your life and expressing gratitude for the even greater abundance that is flowing to you. You might say something like this: "Thank you for this beautiful day and all the wonderful opportunities it brings. Thank you for my healthy body that serves me so well. Thank you for the roof over my head and the food in my kitchen. Thank you for the people who love and support me. Thank you for the work that allows me to contribute and earn. Thank you for all the abundance that flows to me from seen and unseen sources." But here's the key. Don't just recite words. Feel the gratitude in your body. Let appreciation fill your heart. Allow yourself to really experience the blessing of being alive, of having opportunities, of being connected to the infinite source of all supply. As you do this, you'll notice that your entire energy shifts. Instead of feeling burdened by the day ahead, you feel blessed. Instead of focusing on what's lacking in your life, you become aware of how much you already have. Instead of approaching the day from a consciousness of need, you start from a consciousness of abundance. This shift in your morning consciousness sets the tone for your entire day. It programs your subconscious mind to look for abundance rather than lack, to notice opportunities rather than obstacles, to attract prosperity rather than scarcity. I learned this practice from a very successful businessman who told me it was the single most important factor in his rise from poverty to wealth. He said, "Every morning, I remind myself that I live in an abundant universe, that I am connected to unlimited supply, and that this day will bring me everything I need and more than I can imagine." He practiced this morning gratitude routine for over 30 years, and in that time, he built multiple successful businesses, accumulated substantial wealth, and became known for his generous philanthropy. But he always insisted that his success wasn't due to his business skills or intelligence. It was due to starting each day with genuine gratitude and absolute faith in abundance. The second essential practice is what I call thank you meditation. This is a deeper, more focused form of gratitude practice that you do once or twice a day, preferably in the morning after your initial awakening gratitude, and again in the evening before sleep. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and begin to breathe slowly and deeply. As you relax, bring to mind all the things in your life for which you're genuinely grateful. Start with the obvious ones: your health, your family, your home, your abilities. Then begin to expand your gratitude to include things you might normally take for granted: the air you breathe, the water you drink, the sun that gives life to everything on earth, the incredible intelligence of your body that heals and maintains itself without any conscious effort from you. As you feel genuine appreciation for these blessings, begin to include your financial situation in your gratitude, even if it's not yet where you want it to be. Say, "Thank you for all the money I have received throughout my life. Thank you for my ability to earn and create value. Thank you for all the ways that abundance flows to me." Then, and this is crucial, begin to feel grateful for the financial abundance that is coming to you. See yourself as already blessed with the prosperity you desire. Feel the emotions you would feel if your financial dreams had already come true. Experience the relief, the joy, the freedom, the security, the ability to help others that comes with abundant prosperity. Say, "Thank you for the perfect financial opportunities that are now manifesting in my life. Thank you for the abundance that flows to me easily and naturally. Thank you for the wisdom to recognize and act upon the opportunities that come my way." Thank you for the peace and security that come from knowing I am always provided for. As you do this, don't worry if your logical mind protests or if the gratitude doesn't feel completely natural at first. You're reprogramming patterns that may have been in place for years or even decades. Be patient with yourself, but be persistent. The more you practice feeling grateful for abundance, the more natural it becomes, and the more powerfully it transforms your circumstances. I remember working with a single mother who was struggling to make ends meet on a minimum wage job. She was initially resistant to feeling grateful for abundance she didn't have, but I encouraged her to start with gratitude for what she did have: her health, her beautiful children, her determination, her ability to work. Gradually, as her capacity for genuine gratitude grew, I guided her to begin feeling thankful for the better job that was coming to her, for the financial security that was manifesting, for the comfortable home she and her children would soon enjoy. At first, she said it felt like lying to herself, but I explained that she wasn't lying, she was recognizing truth at a deeper level. In the realm of infinite possibility, her prosperity already existed. She was simply acknowledging this truth and opening herself to receive it. Within 3 months of beginning this practice, she was offered a position at a company where she had previously been turned down. Within 6 months, she had been promoted twice. Within a year, her income had tripled, and she was able to move her family into a beautiful home in a safe neighborhood. When I asked her what she thought had made the difference, she said, "I learned to feel grateful for blessings before they appeared, and somehow that gratitude made me ready to receive them when they came." The third essential practice is what I call gratitude throughout the day. This means weaving appreciation and thankfulness into your regular activities so that gratitude becomes not just something you do during meditation, but a way of being that permeates your entire life. Every time you receive money, whether it's your paycheck, change from a purchase, a refund, a gift, or even finding a coin on the ground, say thank you with genuine appreciation. Don't take any form of abundance for granted, no matter how small. Every time you pay for something, whether it's groceries, gas, bills, or anything else, say thank you as you hand over the money or make the payment. Instead of focusing on the money leaving you, focus on the value you're receiving in exchange. Feel grateful for the goods or services you're obtaining and for your ability to participate in the flow of commerce. This shift in perspective is incredibly powerful. Most people feel negative emotions when they spend money. They feel like they're losing something, like money's being taken away from them. But when you feel grateful for what you're receiving in exchange, you align yourself with the flow of abundance rather than the experience of loss. Every time you think about your financial goals or dream about the lifestyle you want to create, end that thought with gratitude. Instead of longing for what you don't have, feel thankful for what's coming to you. Say, "Thank you for this wonderful goal that is now manifesting in my life." I learned this practice from a woman who had built a successful business from nothing by maintaining what she called a constant attitude of gratitude. She told me, "I decided that I would never think about money without feeling grateful. Whether money was coming to me or going from me, whether I was thinking about the past, present, or future, I would always end with gratitude." This simple practice transformed her relationship with money completely. Instead of seeing money as scarce and hard to get, she began to see it as abundant and eager to flow to her. Instead of feeling anxious about finances, she felt excited about the opportunities money represented. Instead of working from a consciousness of lack, she operated from a consciousness of overflow. Her business reflected this consciousness shift. Clients were drawn to her positive energy. Opportunities seemed to appear effortlessly. Partnerships developed naturally. Within 5 years, she had created a multi-million-dollar enterprise that supported not only her family, but dozens of employees and thousands of customers. When people asked her for the secret to her success, she would always say, "I learned to be grateful for money before I had it, while I was receiving it, and after it was gone. Gratitude made me a magnet for abundance." The fourth practice is what I call evening gratitude review. This is how you end each day, by reinforcing prosperity consciousness and programming your subconscious mind for abundance while you sleep. Just before you go to sleep, spend a few minutes reviewing your day from the perspective of gratitude. Think about all the ways abundance showed up in your life that day, not just money, but all forms of abundance. Perhaps you received a compliment, enjoyed a beautiful sunset, had a good meal, experienced a moment of laughter, or felt the love of someone important to you. Feel genuine appreciation for these blessings, no matter how small they might seem. Remember, gratitude for small blessings prepares you to receive larger ones. Appreciation for what you have attracts more to appreciate. Then, expand your gratitude to include the financial blessings you received that day. Maybe you earned money from your work, saved money on a purchase, received an unexpected refund, or simply had the security of knowing your basic needs were met. Feel thankful for all of these forms of abundance. Next, and this is very important, express gratitude for the financial blessings that tomorrow will bring. See tomorrow as a day filled with opportunities for abundance. Feel excited about the prosperity that is flowing to you. Say something like, "Thank you for all the wonderful opportunities that tomorrow will bring. Thank you for the abundance that flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. Thank you for the perfect circumstances that are arranging themselves for my highest good." As you drift off to sleep with these thoughts and feelings of gratitude, you're programming your subconscious mind to work all night long to attract and create the abundance you've been appreciating. Your subconscious mind is most receptive to programming just before sleep, and it works continuously while you're sleeping to manifest whatever you've impressed upon it. When you fall asleep feeling grateful for abundance, you're giving your subconscious mind clear instructions to create more abundance in your life. I once worked with a man who had been unemployed for over a year and was becoming increasingly desperate about his financial situation. Traditional job search methods weren't working, and he was beginning to lose hope. I taught him this evening gratitude practice, and though he was skeptical at first, he committed to doing it every night for 30 days. Every evening, he would feel grateful for the job that was coming to him, for the perfect employer who was looking for someone with his skills, for the abundant salary he would earn, for the meaningful work he would do. On the 23rd day of this practice, he received a phone call from a company he had never heard of. They had gotten his resume from a job board he had forgotten he had posted on, and they wanted to interview him immediately. The position was better than anything he had applied for, better pay, better benefits, more interesting work, and a company culture that was a perfect fit for his values and personality. He got the job, and when he started work, he discovered that his new employer had been searching for someone with his exact qualifications for months. They told him they had interviewed dozens of candidates, but none had been quite right. They said it was as if he had appeared at exactly the perfect moment. He knew better. Through his evening gratitude practice, he had programmed his subconscious mind to attract the perfect job opportunity, and his subconscious mind had orchestrated the perfect timing and circumstances to bring him and his ideal employer together. These 4 practices, morning gratitude awakening, thank you meditation, gratitude throughout the day, and evening gratitude review, form a complete system for reprogramming your consciousness for prosperity. When you practice them consistently, you create what I call a field of gratitude around your life that naturally attracts abundance. But I want to be honest with you about something important. These practices require consistency and patience. You're reprogramming patterns that may have been in place for years or decades. Don't expect overnight miracles, though they do sometimes happen. What you should expect is a gradual but steady shift in your consciousness, your energy, and your circumstances. You'll begin to notice opportunities you hadn't seen before. You'll start to feel more optimistic and confident about your financial future. You'll find yourself taking actions that lead to increased abundance. Most importantly, you'll discover that prosperity is not something you have to chase or struggle for. When your consciousness is aligned with abundance through consistent gratitude, prosperity begins to flow to you as naturally as water flows downhill. Now, as you begin to implement these practices, you may encounter some challenges and obstacles. Let me share with you the most common problems people face and how to overcome them so that you can achieve the full benefits of what I'm teaching you. Advanced prosperity principles. As you begin to practice these gratitude techniques and start to see results in your life, you may encounter some challenges that can slow down or even temporarily stop your progress. I want to prepare you for these obstacles and give you the tools to overcome them, because understanding how to navigate these challenges is what separates those who achieve lasting prosperity from those who experience only temporary improvement. The first challenge you may face is what I call the resistance of old patterns. Your subconscious mind has been programmed with certain beliefs about money and abundance for many years, perhaps even decades. These old patterns don't disappear overnight just because you start practicing gratitude. In fact, they may initially seem to get stronger as they resist being replaced by new patterns. You might find yourself thinking thoughts like, "This gratitude stuff is nonsense. Nothing is really changing. I'm just fooling myself." Or you might feel awkward and artificial when you try to feel grateful for abundance you can't yet see. You might even experience what seems like increased financial challenges just as you begin your gratitude practice. Don't be discouraged by this resistance. It's actually a sign that your new practices are working, that you're beginning to disturb old patterns and create space for new ones. Think of it like cleaning out a closet that's been cluttered for years. At first, the room looks messier than before because you pulled everything out. But this apparent mess is actually the first step toward creating beautiful organization. When you encounter this resistance, the key is persistence with compassion. Don't force the gratitude or try to bulldoze through the resistance. Instead, gently return to your practices, acknowledging the resistance without being controlled by it. You might say to yourself, "I notice that part of my mind doubts this process, and that's okay. I understand that old patterns resist change, but I also know that I'm planting new seeds in my consciousness, and I trust that these seeds will grow in their own perfect time." I remember working with a woman who experienced significant resistance when she began her gratitude practice. She had grown up in a family where talking about money was considered inappropriate, where wanting prosperity was seen as selfish, and where financial struggle was almost worn as a badge of honor. When she started expressing gratitude for abundance, she felt guilty, as if she were betraying her family's values. She found herself sabotaging her own practice, forgetting to do her morning gratitude or rushing through it without feeling. I helped her understand that this resistance came from old programming that was trying to keep her trapped in the same patterns that had limited her family for generations. I encouraged her to send love and compassion to these old patterns while continuing her new practices. I taught her to say, "I honor the beliefs that my family passed down to me, knowing they came from love and their own experiences. And now I choose to expand beyond these limitations, not to reject my family, but to create new possibilities for myself and future generations." As she practiced this loving approach to change, the resistance gradually diminished. Within 6 months, she had not only transformed her own financial situation, but had become a positive influence on her family members, several of whom began to adopt more prosperous thinking because of her example. The second challenge you may face is what I call attachment to specific outcomes. When you begin to see the power of gratitude in creating abundance, you might become attached to having your prosperity manifest in exactly the way you envision it. You might express gratitude for a specific job, a particular amount of money, or a certain business opportunity. And if things don't unfold exactly as you imagined, you might conclude that the process isn't working. But remember, the universe often has plans for you that are far greater than what your limited human perspective can conceive. Your job is not to dictate to the universe exactly how your abundance should appear. Your job is to align your consciousness with abundance and trust that infinite intelligence will manifest it in the perfect way and at the perfect time. When you practice gratitude, focus on the feeling you want to experience rather than the specific form you want it to take. Instead of saying, "Thank you for the 100 salary I'm going to receive," say, "Thank you for the perfect income that allows me to live comfortably, contribute generously, and pursue my dreams." Instead of, "Thank you for winning the lottery," say, "Thank you for abundance that flows to me from perfect and unexpected sources." This approach allows the universe to surprise you with blessings that exceed your imagination. I once knew a man who practiced gratitude for a specific business opportunity he was pursuing. When that opportunity didn't manifest as he expected, he became discouraged and almost gave up his gratitude practice altogether. But I encouraged him to release his attachment to that particular outcome and trust that something even better was in store for him. Within a few weeks of shifting his gratitude to be more general and trusting, he was approached by a different company with an opportunity that was far superior to the one he had originally wanted. He later said, I'm so grateful that my first choice didn't work out. If it had, I would have missed out on something much better. Now I know that when I practice gratitude with trust, rather than attachment, the universe always gives me more than I ask for. The third challenge is what I call impatience with the process. In our instant gratification culture, many people expect gratitude to work like a magic wand, producing immediate and dramatic results. When the changes don't come as quickly as expected, they may abandon the practice just when it's beginning to work. Remember that you're dealing with natural laws, not magic tricks. Just as a farmer doesn't plant seeds one day and expect to harvest the next, you must understand that consciousness change takes time to manifest in physical reality. The gestation period for abundance varies from person to person and situation to situation. Some people see results within days or weeks. Others need months of consistent practice before significant changes occur. But everyone who persists with genuine gratitude eventually sees their circumstances transform. During this waiting period, focus on the internal changes that are happening. Notice if you feel more optimistic, more confident, more peaceful about your financial future. Pay attention to small synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, or positive shifts in your relationships. These internal and subtle external changes are signs that your gratitude practice is working, even if the big manifestations haven't appeared yet. Trust the process and continue your practices with faith and patience. I worked with a businessman who practiced gratitude consistently for 8 months before seeing significant external changes in his financial situation. He was tempted to quit several times, thinking the process wasn't working for him. But during those 8 months, he noticed that he was sleeping better, feeling less stressed, making better decisions, and enjoying improved relationships with his colleagues and family. These changes were preparing him to receive and handle the abundance that was coming. In the 9th month, his business suddenly took off. New clients appeared from everywhere. Opportunities he hadn't even considered became available. His income increased by 300% within 6 months. Looking back, he realized that those 8 months of apparent nothing happening had actually been months of important internal preparation. His consciousness had been shifting, his energy had been changing, his capacity to receive abundance had been expanding. When the external manifestation finally came, he was ready for it. The fourth challenge is what I call guilt about receiving abundance. Many people have been conditioned to believe that wanting money is selfish, that wealthy people are somehow bad, or that they don't deserve to have more than others. When abundance begins to flow to them as a result of their gratitude practice, they may feel guilty or unworthy. This guilt can actually block further abundance from manifesting. If you experience guilt about receiving abundance, remember that prosperity is not a zero-sum game. The universe is infinitely abundant. You're receiving more doesn't mean there's less for others. In fact, the more abundant you become, the more you're able to help and serve others. Think of yourself as a channel for abundance rather than a reservoir that hoards it. The more prosperity flows through your life, the more you can contribute to your family, your community, and causes you care about. I often tell people, your poverty serves no one, but your prosperity can serve everyone you touch. When you have abundant resources, you can be more generous with your time, your money, your energy, and your talents. You can contribute more to making the world a better place. Remember, too, that abundance includes more than just money. When you practice gratitude for prosperity, you're opening yourself to receive abundant health, abundant love, abundant joy, abundant creativity, abundant opportunities to serve and contribute. Allow yourself to receive all these forms of abundance with joy and appreciation, knowing that you're meant to live a rich, full, prosperous life in every sense of the word. The fifth and final challenge I want to address is what I call stopping too soon. Many people start these practices with enthusiasm, see some initial results, and then gradually let their practice slide. They think they've learned gratitude and no longer need to practice it consistently. But gratitude is not a technique you master once and then forget about. It's a way of being that requires ongoing cultivation. Just as you need to eat regularly to maintain physical health, you need to practice gratitude regularly to maintain prosperity consciousness. Make these gratitude practices a permanent part of your daily routine, just like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. Don't think of them as temporary methods for solving a financial problem. Think of them as lifelong practices for maintaining abundance consciousness. The people I've known who have achieved the greatest and most lasting prosperity are those who have made gratitude a fundamental part of their character. They don't practice gratitude just when they want something. They practice it because they understand it's the natural response to living in an abundant universe. As you continue your gratitude practices, you'll find that they become not just techniques you use, but expressions of who you are. Gratitude will become your natural response to life, your automatic way of thinking and feeling about your circumstances. And when gratitude becomes who you are rather than just what you do, abundance becomes not just something you occasionally experience, but your natural state of being. You'll find that prosperity flows to you as naturally as breathing, that opportunities appear effortlessly, that abundance becomes the normal condition of your life. Now, my friend, you have everything you need to transform your financial reality through the power of these two simple words. You understand the principles, you know the science, you have the practices, and you're prepared for the challenges. The only question that remains is, will you begin? Your prosperity begins now. My friend, in these past 90 minutes, you've discovered one of the most powerful secrets ever revealed about the creation of wealth and abundance. You now understand that prosperity is not about luck, inheritance, or even hard work alone. It's about consciousness. And you know that two simple words, thank you, spoken with genuine feeling and unwavering faith, can become your direct connection to unlimited abundance. Let me remind you of the journey we've taken together. You've learned that the universe operates on a principle of infinite abundance, and that the only thing standing between you and prosperity is the programming in your subconscious mind. You've discovered that gratitude is the most powerful force for reprogramming that consciousness, transforming you from someone who struggles with money into someone who attracts wealth naturally and effortlessly. You've seen the science behind why gratitude works, how it rewires your brain, changes your energy frequency, and creates the inner conditions that automatically attract abundance. You've learned specific practices that can transform these two words from mere courtesy into creative forces that reshape your reality. Most importantly, you've understood that this is not about manipulation or trying to get something for nothing. This is about aligning yourself with the natural flow of universal abundance, about becoming the kind of person who naturally receives and enjoys prosperity while using it to serve and bless others. Remember the stories I've shared with you. The businessman who went from bankruptcy to millions through morning gratitude, the single mother who tripled her income by appreciating abundance before it appeared, the unemployed man who attracted his perfect job by feeling thankful for it before it manifested. These are not unique individuals with special powers. They are ordinary people who learn to use an extraordinary principle. You have access to the same principle. You have the same creative power within your consciousness. You can achieve the same remarkable results. The only difference between you and those success stories is the decision to begin and the commitment to persist. But I want to be completely honest with you about something crucial. Everything I've shared with you today is worthless unless you actually apply it. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. Understanding without implementation is just intellectual exercise. The moment this video ends, you have a choice to make. You can file this information away as interesting but impractical. You can tell yourself you'll start tomorrow or next week or when things get better. You can let doubt and old patterns convince you that this won't work for you. Or you can make a different choice. You can decide that your prosperity begins right now in this moment. You can commit to starting your gratitude practice today, this very day. You can choose to trust in the infinite abundance of the universe and your own power to align with it. I challenge you to make that choice right now. Before you do anything else, before you check your phone or move on to the next video, take 30 seconds to say thank you with genuine feeling. Thank the universe for abundance that is flowing to you. Thank your subconscious mind for accepting new prosperity programming. Thank yourself for being open to transformation. Feel the gratitude in your body. Let appreciation fill your heart. Allow yourself to experience, just for a moment, the feeling of being abundantly blessed and provided for. That feeling you're experiencing right now, that's the feeling that creates wealth. That's the consciousness that attracts abundance. That's the frequency that transforms lack into plenty. Now, I want you to make a commitment. For the next 30 days, practice the morning gratitude awakening every single day before you get out of bed. Spend 5 minutes feeling genuinely grateful for the abundance in your life and the prosperity that's flowing to you. For the next 30 days, end each day with the evening gratitude review. Before you go to sleep, express appreciation for all the blessings you received that day and all the abundance that tomorrow will bring. For the next 30 days, say thank you with genuine feeling every time you receive money or pay money. Transform every financial transaction into an opportunity to align with abundance consciousness. I promise you this. If you commit to these practices for 30 days with genuine feeling and consistent application, your relationship with money will begin to transform. You'll start to notice opportunities you hadn't seen before. You'll feel more optimistic and confident about your financial future. You'll begin to experience the flow of abundance in ways that will amaze you. But don't just take my word for it. Conduct your own experiment. Test these principles in the laboratory of your own life. Be your own scientist. Track your results. Notice the changes in your thoughts, feelings, circumstances, and opportunities. Some of you will see results within days. Others may need weeks or months of consistent practice. But everyone who persists with genuine gratitude will eventually see their financial reality transform. Remember, you're not just changing your bank account, you're changing your entire consciousness. You're not just attracting money, you're becoming the kind of person who naturally lives in abundance. You're not just solving a financial problem, you're awakening to your true nature as an unlimited being connected to infinite supply. As you begin this journey, be patient with yourself. Be gentle with the process. Don't expect perfection, but do insist on persistence. Remember that every master was once a beginner, and every expert was once an amateur who refused to give up. There will be days when gratitude feels easy and natural, and days when it feels forced or artificial. There will be times when you see immediate results, and times when nothing seems to be happening. Through all of these experiences, keep coming back to these two simple words. Thank you. Let them become more than words. Let them become your natural response to life. Let them express your fundamental understanding that you live in a universe of infinite abundance, that you are connected to unlimited supply, and that prosperity is your natural state. One final thought as we conclude our time together. The principles I've shared with you today are not just about creating personal wealth. They're about awakening to the abundance that is your spiritual birthright. They're about recognizing yourself as a creative being with unlimited potential. They're about living in harmony with the generous, giving nature of the universe itself. When you truly understand and embody these principles, you become not just wealthy, but a source of wealth for others. You become not just abundant, but a channel through which abundance flows to everyone you touch. You become not just prosperous, but a force for prosperity in the world. This is my vision for you. Not just that you would have more money, but that you would become more yourself. Not just that you would solve your financial problems, but that you would discover your infinite creative potential. Not just that you would experience abundance, but that you would share that abundance in ways that make the world more beautiful, more loving, and more prosperous for all. Your journey to prosperity begins with these two words. Thank you. Speak them now. Feel them deeply. Let them open your heart to receive all the blessings that are waiting for you. Your abundant future starts this moment. Now, if you want to take this even deeper, if you're ready to discover the one prayer that can multiply your prosperity results by 10, then you need to watch my next video, The Millionaire's Prayer. Speak this once daily, and money will chase you. In that video, I reveal the specific prayer technique that combines these two words with visualization and faith in a way that creates what I call magnetic prosperity consciousness. It's the missing piece that transforms good intentions into actual manifestation. You'll learn the exact words that millionaires use to program their subconscious minds for unlimited wealth, and you'll discover how to pray in a way that makes abundance flow to you like iron filings to a magnet. This prayer technique has been used by some of the wealthiest people in history, but it's been kept secret from the masses. I'm going to share it with you completely free. because I believe everyone deserves to know how to access their full prosperity potential. Click that video right now, because your financial transformation is just beginning. The 2 words you've learned today are powerful, but when you combine them with the millionaire's prayer, you'll have everything you need to create wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Thank you for your time, thank you for your attention, and thank you for being open to the abundance that is your birthright. Your prosperous future awaits.